So learning language, we didn't grow up learning our language. This is probably one of the most difficult things for people unless you have somebody to talk to. It's really hard to learn language on your own, to be able to converse with people. And my father's father, Cecilio Chumamayad, he told my dad as they were growing up, there's nobody left. Who are you going to speak to? So he remembers them talking the language at home, but it was never passed down to them. So as we're making our way, I didn't mention earlier that with our oak trees, we have two words, ta and kul, for our trees. And for the acorn, ishbanish is the name of that. So here we're standing on when both these two are my favorite trees. This one behind me, the elderberry, gayash, and this one right now, and has always been a very powerful medicine plant. You and the wood. I brought some things to share with you of how we use the branches. Well, right now it's nice and green with the leaves just starting. Pretty soon you're going to see these beautiful clusters of blossoms, little pale yellow blossoms that make little spots all over the trees like little pom poms. Well, those blossoms contain a wonderful medicinal for the bronchial tubes, for your breathing. It also builds up the immune system. So in today's world, you can buy and get elderberry tea. You can get essence of them and what I call a wellness formula. Say in Ojai here, we have a health food store. You buy these drops, and they have the elderberry inside them. After the blossoms fall off, there's these beautiful berries. Now, again, I'm doing a little disclosure here and warning that because our plants and the medicines are so very strong, uh, you shouldn't take these unless you know exactly what they are and they are the right type of berries to be eaten, because you can be eating something that is very toxic or poison, and you don't want to do that. So don't go out gathering and eating berries because they look like food. They're not always food. So you need to know that what you're be have an adult and someone that knows. There's a lot of study that you can tell you exactly what type of trees these are. But growing up, we didn't have the elderberry, but we ate walnuts, we ate the wild cherries around the valley. We had a lot of native foods that we ate, and the animals too. Well, the elderberry, once you have to always compete with the birds to get the berries, and people use berries and elderberry all around the world too. These are two main plants, the elderberry and the oak, that grow around the world, and all have the same properties and values that we all had as indigenous peoples. One of our main things is our musical instruments. This here, askatata, clapper stick, is made from the elderberry. And so you clap it on your hands like this. This is our main percussion instrument. And you see that little hole right there? It's a split stick rattle, so it's split all the way down. And then you dig out that little pith inside there with a sharp stick, and it gives you that sound. This is the one my father made. And when he passed away in 1992, I got a lot of his instruments. So he had, when he prays to all the people of the world, different color of the people of the world, he put some shells, some abalone, and a little crystal at the top, so that when we speak with clarity, so that people understand our words and our prayers. And I love having his energy with me. Other thing that we had made from the elderberry is whistles, using that asphaltum that you get on your feet when you go out to the beach and you're walking down and you get all that tar on there. You take a little branch of the elderberry and carve it out, then you plug up the one end. See if I can get it louder. They all have a different sound. There you go, that's a good sound. So you want to carry one of these, like especially if you're walking around in the woods and maybe you get yourself lost, or you see something you want, somebody's attention. You might want to blow these, and it helps people kind of gather. When you're gathering, quiet down, everybody. You blow the whistle. So those come in really handy. Other things that were made from the elderberry is the alahata momo, the bull roarer. My father made this, and this is about twice the size that it should be. It should only be about, but he really like this bigger, larger branches of the elderberry. You fashion the bull roarer, and what this does is that when you turn it overhead and spin it, you get the wind coming through these serrated edges on the board, and you wind it up. I'm going to move maybe right inside here. I'm going to twist it up on the string, get it really, really tight. Now what this does, and a lot of people, again, all indigenous peoples, there's many tribes and cultures around the world that all had one of these, and they used them pretty much in the same ways. When spun, like for us in the Chumash world, if there's a ceremony beginning, about 5 men would get out into the ceremonial circle with the alahata momo, and they would wind them up, and then they would spin them overhead. And that told everybody that it was time to come to ceremony, but it also evoked the deities around us to join and come to the ceremony as well. So I think I got it pretty tight. I'm going to move over here so that there's no branches in the way, because that's what happened the last time. One time I did it, I hit a branch and it broke part of it off, so I had to fix it. This is a cocoon rattle. So each one of these little things right here, there's about 5 or 6 of them in there, have pebbles inside. After the, that whole metamorphosis that the caterpillar goes through, living in their cocoons, and then they come out there and hatch into that beautiful moth. Well, we would gather, sometimes you would have just one little cocoon on a stick and have a single one, but here I wanted to make a bunch of them. So we have these little rattles here. So we also have a game that was played. This one was played in the upper world. Our universe was really amazing. We have 3 worlds, an upper world, middle world, and lower world. We live here in this middle world. They were like flat trays, kind of like a basket tray sort of. And then up above, another world where the sky people live. And in between that sacred space of upper and middle is a great eagle, and he holds up the world with his wings. And when he gets tired of holding up the upper world, he pulls his wings out and stretches himself out. And then when it's time to come back together to go to work, his wings sometimes covers Grandmother Moon. And right now she's about half full, and she's like, would you come on and let me have my place so she could be her big round self again? Well, sun, as he lights his world every day for us. There's sky lizard, there's morning star, there's evening star. There's even a little sky lizard up there and a sky coyote that live up there. Well, they play a game. Sun and eagle are on one team. Morning Star and Sky Coyote are on another team, and they play this dice game every night, and Moon referees that game. Well, at the winter solstice, which is in December, around 22nd, 23rd, 20th, 21st, or 22nd, it's that little 3-day window there where the world's even time-wise, and it's the starting of we just passed it in December, so now the days are getting longer again. Well, this little game is played by using counter sticks, and I made these out of elderberry, and there's about 12 of them. The idea is to get all the sticks, so you choose odd or even. And right here I have the black walnuts that I was telling you that we grew up eating. So we have little walnuts, little black walnuts that we cleaned all up and took all the black stuff. Now some of that stuff was helpful if you're weaving baskets. You notice my little basket has some designs here. Well, they were possibly made, a juncus grows in the wetlands, and it's a beautiful plant for basketry material. When you put that juncus and bury it in the ground, you can put some walnut husk down there with it, or elderberry or oak, because they will all turn that juncus into the dark colors that you see here in the basket. Well, here I have put tar on top of each half of the walnuts. Some I've sprinkled with abalone. Some the abalone fallen off already. So I roll my dice. I'm going to pick odd or even. Do you know what odd and even numbers? We'll teach you. Okay, so I'm going to roll my dice. I'm going to count how many went up. And I picked odd. So, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you can see that maybe. 4 are facing up. So, but I picked odd. Is 4 odd or even? I think it's an even number. But I have 2 more times. So remember that number 4. I'm going to roll again. 2 are on their side. Those don't count. So 4, 5, 6. Okay, because you're adding 4 and now 2. So that's 6. That's odd, right? All right. All right. No, it's all right. It's even. Okay, so 6. Remember that number. Gonna roll again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. Is it? Am I right? That's odd. Yeah. I want a stick. I get another turn. Okay, So, and that game keeps going as long as I keep winning and getting sticks. But the minute I lose, and if that other one had turned up, that would have been 12 or whatever, 10. I don't know, I'm losing track of my numbers. Well, I would lose my turn. The other person would take over. This was a fun game and it lasted a really long time. Women loved playing this game. You know why? Took them from their housework. Sometimes this game would last all day. So that was really fun. So this tree, again, it needs to be here. It has a lot of animals that live in it too and feed off of it. All the birds, the coyote, everybody, foxes, they're all eating the elderberries when they're ripe. And we have all this medicinal properties to it. So you see how the branches are growing nice and tall. We want to tend. We didn't do farming, we didn't do agriculture, but we tended. We propagated, we sowed seeds, but we didn't do line or row crops. We didn't do orchards. We didn't do any irrigation. We just prayed for rain and hopefully it came. And the more that we tended and trimmed and you know, had this relationship with this plant, the bigger and stronger those branches grew, so we could have some really nice cool whistles and clapper sticks. Okay, we're going to move on to another plant now.